going to be graphing this quadratic equation. We've been given y is equal to x squared negative 7x positive 12. Now this is of the form the general quadratic equation ax squared positive bx positive c, where the value of a, if you were to see, it is 1, which is greater than 0. So this would mean we are looking into a graph which is U-shaped because of the very fact it is greater than 0. So that is the first point that we will have to obtain. Now after we have got the first point, we will have to now look into the roots, right? That is very much the need, because we want to know how many roots the particular equation has got. So for that, you can adopt formula method or you can adopt factorization. So I'm going to adopt factorization. So it's going to be 12 there and negative 7. I need to find two numbers which when added gives me negative 7 and which when multiplied would give me 12. So clearly you can place the negative sign. When you add, you get negative 7. When you multiply, you get 12. So the factorization part is, if I were to take x squared negative 7x positive 12 is equal to 0, this is going to be x negative 4 times x negative 3 is equal to 0. From here you get x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 3. So there are 2 points of x, so that means there are 2 intersections. Now this is the second point. Now the third point, there is something called as axis of symmetry, which can also be obtained, and for that y is equal to negative b over 2a. This is the formula. So clearly if you were to look into the equation given, in place of b you have negative 7, in place of a you got 1. So 7 divided by 2 is the axis of symmetry. So that's nothing but 3.5. So this is a very important concept that you will have to also find when you're drawing the graph. Now next is the point of intersection on the x-axis, not on the x-axis, on the y-axis. Point of intersection with the y-axis. So we have been given y is equal to x squared negative 7x positive 12. So to get the intersection for the y-axis, we take x is equal to 0. So that would mean y is equal to 12 is the point of intersection. So having got all of this, we are now set to graph the given quadratic equation. So let me just draw the x-axis and the y-axis. This is the y-axis, and the 2 points, if this is going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4, the values are, let me show you, 3 and 4. So this point is 3, this point is 4. There are 2 cuts over here. That is imperative. And then if I were to take this as 2, 4, 6, 8, right? The units divisions as 2, because I need to plot the point 12. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So this would be the point of intersection at the y-axis. So there is a cut there. Now we need to also get the coordinate of the vertex, which we have not obtained. Axis of symmetry we have got the axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is going to be 3.5. You see that this is the axis of symmetry. So probably you can draw that line. So this is the axis of symmetry. And what is the equation? Y is equal to 7 over 2. So that is the equation for this particular line. Now we need to get the vertex, right? Of course I know it is a U-shaped. For getting the vertex, we need to have the coordinates. So this is point number 5, coordinate of the vertex. So So what is the formula? Negative b divided by 2a, comma, negative d divided by 4a. So this is the value that would give us the coordinates of the vertex. Now d is nothing but b squared negative 4ac. And we could have actually obtained this value d instead of going on to factorize, because this would give us, if the roots are, just with this we can determine the nature of the roots, but it's still okay. Now the value of b from the given question, it's going to be negative 7. So I'm substituting negative 7 squared, negative 4 times a is 1 and c is 12. This is going to be 49 negative 48, which is 1. So it's greater than 0. So the roots are real and distinct, but it doesn't matter. We have already found out the roots. But this has given us the value for d. So the coordinates in this case is negative b over 2a. That has been found to be a 7 over 2. That's fine. And the value of d is negative of 1. So this is going to be 1 divided by 4 times my coefficient of a is 1. So if you were to rewrite this, is going to be 7 over 2 comma negative 1 over 4. So I have 7 over 2 here and negative 1 over 4. If this point, I'm taking it each of these entries as 2, so this is going to be negative 2 here. Negative 1 over 4 would be somewhere over here, so 0.25, right? So if this entire segment is 2, approximately you can have this as negative 1 over 4. It's not to scale, just to show you. So that is going to be my coordinates for the vertex. So if I were to put the coordinates, this is going to be 7 over 2. 7 over 2 is the x coordinate, and coming to the y coordinate, it's going to be negative 1 over 4. So this is the point. So the graph will actually touch this and move up, and it will hit the y-axis at 12, and it's going up. It is going up. It will just go up. Now after having obtained all of this, there's one particular thing you can also obtain, which is called the range. Now in range, all you need to do is you need to get the minimum values for this particular graph. That is important. So the minimum value that y can take in this case is going to be negative 1 over 4. That is the minimum value, right? This is the point when x is 7 over 2, the y value is going to be negative 1 over 4. So that is the minimum value that y is taking. Now next comes, what is the maximum value? See, you can clearly see the graph is moving up. There is no stoppage for this graph. The graph will just continue to go up. And if someone were to ask you what is the maximum value that y can take, naturally it's going to be infinity. So this is the range for what? For the function f of x is equal to x squared negative 7x positive 12. So we have obtained all of the informations that are required to graph this particular quadratic equation. Now before we wrap up, if someone were to ask you what is the domain for this particular function, clearly you can see that x can take any value in R. So this is the domain. So just to give you a top up.